Hey everybody, this is Nathan Ware at Rain Networks. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about one of the very cool new features in ESET's Remote Administrator version 6.5. Version 6.5 has been out for, oh gosh, about a month or so now. And one of the features that people really like is the new installer section that allows you to save and catalog your installs and easily access them for the future. So let's look at how that feature works here in the new 6.5 Remote Administrator. The installer section is going to be found underneath the admin section here, the bottom icon here with the briefcase. And then you'll see right here, we've got a section for installers. And here are all the previous installers that I've made in the past. And you can see here that if I was to check mark one, the download button down here in the lower portion of the screen would light up, and I could quickly download either the 32 or 64-bit version of that installer package. Um, so that's how you can get to your previously created installer packages very quickly, which is a nice change from the previous remote administrator versions. Let's talk a little bit how to make a new one now. We use the blue Create Installer button down here in the lower left to make a new one. And when I click this, the popular option here would be either all-in-one installer or an agent live installer. The all-in-one installer is going to install the remote administrator agent and the endpoint software all in one shot. Some people like to do it in a two-step methodology. Actually, I almost prefer that just because it gives me a little bit more deployment flexibility. But why don't we go ahead and do an all-in-one installer just to kind of show you how that works. So I'm going to click all-in-one installer. So we're going to make a brand new installer, and we basically start at the top and work down. So the first thing here is to pick our product. So if we were to click this blue product link here, I could then select from the other products that I have in the ESET product catalog. For the sake of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and do endpoint security, which was already listed there. You got to click this checkbox to accept the EULA. And then this next little section here for the license is where we click on this and we can pick which license we want to apply to this installer. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. Apply the license. Okay. The certificate section is the next section down. You'll basically never have to mess with this. This is the certificate that you set up when you initially installed your remote administrator. Very rarely does this ever have to be changed. So we'll just go ahead and bypass this section and move down to the advanced section. Now there's quite a bit here in the advanced section that you may want to do. First off, you may want to name your installer. So let's say I was making an installer for all of my accounting department. Okay, so I'm going to call this my accounting department installer and ESET endpoint security. Okay, and then give it a description. This is the installer for the computers in my accounting department. Okay. Next is the parent group section. So this is where we can tell the installer to report back to a specific static group in your computer environment. So if I click the select button here to the right of parent group, here's all of my static groups, and I could then select one of those static groups and click OK. And now when the installer is installed, it will have this computer report back to the parent group that it needs to report back to, and that's where I'll find this computer after I've got it installed. The next section here is to enable the ESET AV remover. So ESET has the capability to uninstall the previous endpoint software that's currently on the machine. I'll go ahead and check that because I do want that. The next section here is where I can tell it to apply a policy to the machine. So if I click select configuration from the list of policies, and then down here under security product configuration, click the select button, okay, I can then go ahead and also apply a policy to this machine in the installer package. So again, it's a really nice way. It'll install the software and give you the policy that you want all in one fell swoop. Okay. And then the next piece that you usually do want to make sure is right is the server host name. So ERA.local is the standard or default server host name that is given to the remote administrator server when it's first installed, but that's probably not the host name that you're using to access your server. For example, in our case, our host name is up here in the address bar. You can see that we have a custom DNS name assigned to our ESET Remote Administrator console. So what I need to do is copy and paste this address. I'm going to go ahead and do that and put that into this box. Okay, that tells this installer that this is the address that you need to report your status back to for management purposes. So very, very critical part of the process that this server host name is correct in your installer. Don't skip this step, it's very important. All right, after that, I hit create package, and you'll see here that I have both the 32 and 64-bit versions available to me, and I can just click on them and start downloading them. All right, so that's the key points of the new installer feature with the ESET Remote Administrator. Again, step number one that we went through earlier is how to download an existing install file from an existing installer. Pretty easy. You go to admin, you click on installers, and then select 32 or 64-bit. And then we've also now gone through how to make a new one, with the key points being select the right product, select the license, tell it if you want to have a particular policy, and then make sure you fill in the correct server host name. And that's the key points about how to use the new installers feature in ESET Remote Administrator 6.5. Thanks for joining us today. We'll have more videos coming up soon on the new ESET Remote Administrator 6.5 console.